Rhys, I suppose it's we were saying to Craig Watson, it's disappointing to lose the game. Ultimately, you want to win the match, but you think that was a worthwhile, useful exercise in terms of preparation?
Aye, listen, I've got to be honest, and sometimes you say things and listen, I think the boys' effort application was there. It would be nice to go and finish the season, especially here at home with getting a win and 3 points. And listen, I think both teams probably showed throughout the game that it almost looked like one of the end of season game feels from both sides. Like I say, they score a set piece, which is a kind of scrappy goal. Apart from that, they never really done anything to win the game, in my opinion. We had a couple of decent opportunities that on another day we'd like to do better. Maybe deserve something from the game, but the most pleasing thing for me is everybody's come through unscathed.
Yeah, I think that was something I mentioned at the end of the game. No injuries, so we can move on pretty happy with that. And also, we talked about it pre-match, the squad getting minutes in the legs for players that maybe needed them. That can only stand them in good stead for the games to come.
Of course it is, and listen, it's a quick turnaround, Tuesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday potentially. So we know that there's not going to be a lot of time on the training pitch. So we've got to make sure that boys that maybe don't feature Tuesday and maybe Saturday, should you get through, it's one of the ones that at least have had some minutes. They're no chasing their tail a little bit. Great exercise, for example, Flynn Duffy, Janny, Lewis McGregor. A chance for some boys to get some rest. You know, Frizz, Dylan, Alex Bannon obviously was one as well. Dean McMaster getting a rest, who've played a lot of games recently, and just to make sure that they're fresh going into a big couple of weeks.
I suppose the goal, you said it was scrappy, it looks like it's maybe come off the guy's shoulder and looped in the end. So from a corner kick, something like that. Yeah, it's not great, but it's a game that's not had exactly like loads and loads of chances either end. We've probably had the more chances second half, probably fair to say.
Possibly. I actually thought in terms of general play, first half we were good. But certainly you've got to take into consideration the time of the season, and there's nothing really at stake. I can guarantee you that Ayr's mindset and approach to the game would be, listen, of course we'd like to go and win the game, but first and foremost, can we get through the games without any injuries, any knocks, and we're the same, you know, without being disrespectful or what, people come to pay their money to watch the game, but our focus has to be on staying in the league and the playoffs, which is totally understandable. But could we try and approach it with the right level of professionalism, right attitude, get something from it, whether it was an individual getting some minutes into the legs, whether it was maybe certain positions, certain tactical things that we asked, and I think we did that. And like I say, everybody fresh and everybody's ready to go Tuesday.
It's a good side that we've played tonight. They're in that top four for a reason, and it was a game that was very, very even. I think if we'd have got ourselves a wee equaliser, it wouldn't have been undeserved.
Aye, well, the table doesn't lie. I think towards the end of the season, they've kind of had a wee dip in form, but maybe understandable when they kind of secured third spot quite early on, and there's nothing really to play for them. So it's about could they manage the situation along to the playoffs. But as we know, it's a grueling kind of next couple of weeks, potentially 6 games. Suits the team in the Premier League, and listen, obviously here I've got a tough one. I think it's Partick, is it?
Yeah,
Partick.
it's Partick, yeah.
They've got Partick and home and away, and then if they win that, they've got Livingston, which is it's going to be a tough ask.
And I suppose, like we say, that's the season ended, but for us, obviously things go on. The league campaign's over, but we've got massive games to come now, starting Tuesday night. Will you be keeping an eye on who it ends up being on Saturday?
Aye, I'll be at one of the games. Like I say, it's not often we get a chance to go and watch a game on a Saturday, so I make the most of that. And as you say, I've got to be realistic as well. We've been given a lifeline through no fault of our own or whatnot. It's obviously Hamilton's kind of the situation that's going on there. We had in our head, and we've always prepared that could we try and catch the team in front, focus on ourselves, don't let the external stuff take over. We've been gifted a lifeline, so we've got to make sure we can capitalise on it.
Brilliant. We will speak to you later on, Rhys. Thank you very
Cheers.
much. Craig, thoughts on the game tonight? I suppose disappointing to lose, but a useful exercise.
100%. It's good, you know. There's several boys in my position in terms of wanting minutes in the legs, and obviously I've not been getting as minutes as I liked over the past kind of recent months. So it was good to get out there, get the sharpness back up, and like you said, we've got to look at the positives, especially going into the next 4 potential games.
Match itself, pretty fine measures. I thought fine margins. I suppose the one goal that's conceded comes from a set play. Other than that, I don't think either team's barely like been a barrel load of chances either way, has there?
Yeah, there wasn't the best quality throughout the game. Obviously, being biased, I did think we were the better team throughout. In the first half, there was large spells, especially the first 30, I would say, that we controlled a lot of the ball. Working it, being a bit patient, which was good to see. Granted, towards the end of the first half, we got a little bit long bally and a bit more direct with no real quality to finish it. But so disappointing the goal that we concede. It's not as if it's a big crashing header from one of the big centre backs. It's a soft, floaty header. So it's frustrating, but hopefully lessons learned. And like I said, just need to look at the positives. Minutes in boys' legs, some boys getting rested, decent control of the ball throughout, defensively pretty sound, pretty solid. So yeah,
I think the goal actually, when the replays kind of look like it comes off the shoulder, and that's why it kind of loops up in that sort of strange manner. So not going to win goal of the season for anybody, but I suppose that almost makes it worse. Like you say, if it was a brilliant header that there's nothing anyone can do about it, you can sort of live with those. Is it just that a wee messy goal like that for a corner, the ones that really bug you? Yeah,
I think if a team plays 15 passes and cuts through you, or a good bit of skill, individual skill, it's hands up sometimes, fair enough, but with set pieces especially, it's a 1v1 battle, and you've got to get the better of your man. But no, focusing on us, I think we could have had about 3 or 4 goals in the second half, if I'm being truthful. But yeah, at least we made the chances.
Well, that's it, and it's something that we can take into the game, the way we were dangerous against, let's face it, they're a very good side. They're in the Premiership promotion playoffs for a reason, and we've got to take something from that. I suppose, like you said, we've got a lot of minutes in the legs for a squad that we're going to need if we want to go through all these playoff games. Yeah,
and I think, every season I've been here, we've been involved in a playoff, and you do need the full squad. There is injuries, there's cramps, there's this, there's that, there's stuff popping up that you don't expect. So it's so important that everyone has to be ready to play their part, be it 90 minutes, 4 games, 2 minutes. You've got to be on it.
And I suppose, given, like you say, it's been playoffs all the time, it's nothing you're not used to. Looking forward to it.
Obviously, it's a survival playoff, which is a bit of a different dynamic to it. But no, just so important for the club, kind of on and off the pitch, that we do stay in this league. So, and the boys know that. So we'll be covering every blade of grass to ensure that's the case.
As one of the, I guess, more, because you've been here with us for such a long time, and one of the more senior members of the squad just in general, is it a dressing room that you think we can rely on to go and attack these playoffs, to go and win them?
Yeah, 100%. Nothing's been taken for granted, albeit it'll be the league below teams that we're playing against. They're clearly going to be in a positive mindset. That's why they're in a position. They've been doing well this season. They've got momentum. So it's up to us to take the game to them, like you said, and be aggressive with it. And as I said, we're not taking anything for granted. So we've got to be very professional. Understand that they're there for a reason, and we've got to prove why we are the Championship club.
90 minutes for yourself, suppose the first time in a wee while. How's it feel? How's the body?
The old 30-year-old legs. No, it's good. It was good to get back out there. I just love playing, ultimately. And, the gaffers picking their team, you've got to respect that and whatnot. But as a footballer, you just want to be out there. You just want to be playing. So it was great to be back out there, and hopefully you enjoyed watching me.
Yeah, absolutely. Always good to see you out there. But Craig, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We will see you during maybe at the weekend. Thank you very much.
Superb.